Good afternoon. I am filming today and it is chilly, so I ask that you forgive the hoodie. I know it's kind of considered a little soppy, but I'm sorry you guys, I just don't care. I'm cold. The weather is just weird for Ohio in May. We've had some warm days and a lot of good window opening days, which is totally my favorite, but today it's just kind of chilly. It's in the high 40s, and which is just kind of a little low for this time of year. Though tomorrow I think it's going to be like right back at 85, so we'll probably be cracking windows open for part of the day and then use an air conditioner. Though right now I'm totally thinking about, putting on the heat, but I'm trying to resist the heat, cheapskate. Anyway, today's video, I want to contrast the video the other day of, do you bring shame to your husband? I know that's a heavy topic there, and it's kind of negative focused. Well, today I want to try to focus a little more positively as much as possible. Some of these are kind of the opposite of what I was talking about, so you will see some of these points repeating themselves a little, but I think they bear repeating. I'm trying to look at the positive side of it as much as possible. And then there's some new things I thought of to bring in here too. And hopefully y'all have some things that you can add in the bottom in the comments, because I love it when you guys comment and engage and let me know that you're paying attention and that I'm not talking to the thin air here. That's awesome if you do, but it also helps me too. I am not the all-knowing, wise person. I need your help too. So anyway, let's get on to our list. Ways to bring blessings to your husband and to his name. First, I assume if you're listening to this video or clicking on it, you're probably a Christian wife. Not likely too many other people are paying attention. If you are, realize that's who I'm addressing. I am not addressing men. I am not addressing the unbeliever or people who do not believe in Jesus Christ as the Son of God. So, today, this is who I'm talking to. Resolve only to ever speak edifying things about your husband. I definitely touched on this in the other video quite heavily. I have an entire blog post on this. Actually, more than one I've really talked about this. I think it's super important that we bless our husbands by only speaking kindly about them to others. I'm not ever advocating that you lie. I do not believe in lying. I think lying is sinful and wrong. God tells us not to lie. But it is important that, as your mama always said, if you don't have something nice to say, don't say it. I think that is very good advice for a lot of life. There are times that you have to say something not nice, but in general, it's best to keep things like that to ourselves, especially if it's about the person we love, the person who is trusting you not to harm them and harm their name. And I think I know I would feel the same about my husband. I don't want him to go out speaking negative things on me or telling jokes about how I'm a bad wife or a nagger or anything like that. I would be really hurt if he was hurting my name and my reputation. And likewise, so is your husband. So always think about what are the positive things that you can share about your husband. We all have positive things about us, I think. So look for the positive, share the positive, keep the negative to yourself. Pray daily for your husband. That's absolutely a massive blessing to him. I know sometimes I feel helpless when I hear of, struggles that he goes through with work and things like that, but I'm not helpless. I have the God of the universe that I can talk to and I can seek his help. Lord, please watch over my husband, bless him, take care of him, lift his name, help his name to be respected while he's at work. And in all things, personal life, professional life, God, keep him safe today, help him to have mental clarity while he does his job and provides for our family. So many things that you can pray, but pray daily for your husband, and I think that is a massive blessing. Let's see. Speak kindly and respectfully to him. Again, it was kind of countered by the other day on the article and video, but I think it really, really helps if you build your husband up. It is absolutely a blessing to him if you show kindness and love and treat him as you would wish to be treated. And you will hear me say that a lot. Treat somebody as you wish to be treated. I think it is just a super duper important role. It can be for anybody, not just your husband, of course. show your husband love, and he will likely repay you 1,000-fold. I know mine does. I can't speak for you perfectly because I don't know you, your marriage, your situation, and exacting details on your lives. I can't. I'm just a simple YouTube mom here. I'm not omnipotent, but it's my experience. If you give someone lots of love and sow lots of goodness and kindness in your seeds that you're sowing in your marriage, you're likely going to reap a good harvest, and he will probably repay you so many times over. So I strongly encourage you to sow lots of love, kindness, caring, good actions, good fruits. Think of those things. My husband always says marriage is not for the good times, it's for the bad. That sounds like the negative spin in a way, but it's not. And he's absolutely right. You need to know that when you're going through hard times in life, your spouse or your partner, or whatever you want to call them, they'll be there. And that absolutely goes both ways. You need that. That is a security blanket that you really do wrap around yourself and in your heart. And only the security in God trumps that. I know that no matter what, my husband's going to be there for me. And no matter what, I will do my best to be there for him too. I am not perfect. I can't say I won't lose my mind one day, but I know as long as I'm in my right mind, I am not leaving that man. I love him passionately, and he's my world, and he seems to feel the same. Thank God for that. Our marriage is pretty good. It's pretty strong, and I hope that the good Lord always keeps it that way. But part of the reason I think our marriage has been pretty tight has been the putting the one you love before yourself. It's the best way I've seen that ever phrased. And he puts me before himself and his needs all the time. I try to do the same for him. So you can bless your husband by putting his needs first. I was going to go over that later, but ultimately it's kind of how it came out now. I think there's so many ways that you can do that. It can be little things from maybe how you make your bed, that he likes it a certain way. I bring that out because my husband totally has this thing for fleece snuggly blankets, and he's got like a million of them upstairs. It's funny. It keeps me from making the bed the way I want to. So, but that's okay. He loves them. He loves cozying into those at night, and that's fine. It's not a big deal. I don't have to have my little OCD bed making skill done it exactly the way I need to. It's totally cool. And when I teased him about it one day, he's like, well, you can do it how you want. I'm like, no, I'm not going to do that. I want you comfy. So little things, and it can be as mundane and silly as can be, can make a big difference in showing love to your spouse and can bless them a lot. On my list here, sorry, I got to take time to scan it. I can't remember everything. Losing my brain. Do little things to make his day easier as a way to bless him. And I mean the really small things. People will roll their eyes at, when a submissive wife says, keep your husband's glass full. But you know what? It's nice to do. I take my husband tea all the time. He works from home most days. Today he's not here. It's his work day, or go into work day. But the days he's here, I can keep that tea glass full so he can sit and do the work that he needs to do and focus on providing for us. I'll take him meals while he's working. And you know what? Many times over, he's repaid me when I have been sick and not feeling good. He will wait on me. He'll take care of me. That man is so quick to order dinner when he thinks I don't feel good, like too quick. I have to be careful that I don't mention, I really don't feel very good today or something like that. He'll be like, okay, Domino's, not really that one, but anyway, he's that way. He will do everything he can to take care of me and make my life easier if he thinks he can. And I just love him to pieces for it. But you can do lots of little things, be it help him bring drinks, help him remember his vitamins if he wants you to, help lay out clothes if he likes you to do that. He may not. Just, ask him, what can I do to make your life better? How can I bless you today or bless you on an ongoing basis? Do you want me to, help pick up your socks more? Or would you rather do that yourself? Just ask him, What things would be a blessing to you? Sometimes your husband may want you to help with the bills and the finances. Occasionally, my husband has me help with that. I used to do it all the time. Now he does it now, and we're totally cool with that. But occasionally he may need me to stop in and pay a bill or write a check out for certain things, and we try to do that and help each other out. But ask him, how can you bless him in those little day-to-day things? Little things like popping a note in the lunch is pretty cool too if you pack his lunch for him. I haven't got a pack for my husband in a while because the one day a week he goes in, he usually wants to buy something. He likes getting something out of the cafeteria there at work. It's kind of fancy, so it gives him something a little bit different. But anyway, whatever thing that you think you can do, just try to think of those little things to bless his day and his life. Next thing, and I think this is really important to a lot of guys, hobbies. Don't nag him for his hobbies. My husband has 2 main hobbies. Frankly, when I think about it, I have even more. I like art. I've been getting into sketching a lot. I like watching my birds. Right out this window, I've got my bird feeder and like a bazillion birds hitting this feeder. Love that. My husband encourages it. He encourages the art. He's like, what supplies can I buy you? Do you need new pencils? Do you need new anything? He's all over it. I've been having a lot of interest in photography lately. He's just got me a new camera. He's always, encouraging my hobbies, my sewing. He's like, do you need anything? What can I do? He encourages me to sit down and take that time. If I'm at the fabric store, what do you need? What do you need? I'm on it, that's just his way. He is a massive blesser. He's very thoughtful. And do the same for him. I see so many women who are like, oh my goodness, all my husband wants to do is lay around and watch TV or play computer games or do this or do that. Especially the computer game thing. That's one of my husband's hobbies. And people really give guys a lot of a hard time for that. I understand. But in the same turn, what are your hobbies? How much time do you spend watching TV? How much time do you spend doing things that are fruitless and useless, that don't really have a purpose other than making you feel better, or are creative outlets that aren't, what's the word? I think fruitful is just the word I keep coming back to. Because sometimes we have hobbies that aren't really fruitful in ways like that you're not earning something with them, or they're not building or making. Sometimes you have something just because it's a creative outlet and you mentally need it. Well, the computer games are that way for my husband. For better or worse, I think we wives need to back off, stop trying to act like mom, because we're not his mom, we're his wife. So bless him by not being the nag, not picking on him for the things he wants to do. My husband's other hobby is modeling. It is like doing like the model tanks and planes, things like that. He loves history. He loves history. It's such a passion for him, always has been. And the modeling kind of fits into it. Now those models, you couldn't sell them. Once they're built, they're not really of any monetary value. But the value that man gets by sitting there and working on those, painting those, and it can be expensive, all the supplies and stuff like that. The value he gets for his creative outlet that helps him reset for the next work day or what have you, that's valuable. You may not be able to do anything with those models other than have them sit on a shelf and look at them. But the value and joy he gets out of it is wonderful. And it's just like me with my art. Sometimes I can get really, really focused on watching sketching videos or something of that nature. And that's okay. It gives me some time to just chill and think and have a calmer, peaceful time. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Because frankly, even when you do that, you can still do things like listen to scriptures on audio or whatever. You can do things to meditate on the goodness of God. Though I hesitate to use the word meditate there, but I hope you guys know the way in which I mean that. You can think on the goodness of God while you do any hobby just about. I really wanted to bring that one out, and that one's one I've thought about making an entire video or post or something on. But I just think it's important that don't nag the guy for something he likes to do. When you probably have your own hobbies, you're probably wasting time on TV or doing the various things you do. Maybe it's shopping. Everybody's got lots of different hobbies. It could be scrap digging, I don't know, whatever your hobby is. Make sure you give his hobbies and his personal time as much respect and support as what you would give your own. Be a listening ear for your husband can certainly bless him. This is one I struggle with. I think I'm a pretty good listener, but I'm highly, highly, highly empathetic. To the point with the empathy that it's almost a little debilitating. I struggle with that because when he tells me his problems with work, I take it on myself so much. I feel what he's going through so much. I feel like I'm dealing with his burden and mine some days, but God helps me to handle it and to get through each day at a time and to kind of control that. It can be overwhelming for me and my personality. For you, it may not be no big deal. However, it is also very critical that he has a listening ear, because he needs to know he can talk or vent to someone who has his back, someone who's not going to plunge a knife into his back, as a lot of the modern day workforce is, right? So be a listening ear. You don't have to say anything. You don't have to give advice. You don't have to give judgments. You don't have to do anything. Just listen and say, you know what, I'm sorry you're going through that. I love you. I'm here for you. That alone is a massive blessing to your husband. So resolve to do that as much as possible. Be a place where he can come and feel safe and talk to you. And likewise, you should be able to do the same with him, of course. Other one is being a saver. Again, I talked about that in my other video, but be a saver. That is a blessing to him. If he is out there, especially being that sole income breadwinner, the more you save, the more you're a blessing to him usually. Now, if you're working too or something, certainly still being a saver it's still being an earner on top of whatever you're already doing. For me, because I don't have an outside source of income, my main source of that would be by saving. Occasionally I can do things like eBay auctions or stuff like that, but saving and being judicious in how I spend the money for groceries or any number of household expenses, clothing, whatever the topic. Just be cautious with the money, and that blesses your home and your husband. Being a good homemaker to his home and a good mama to his babies. And I would also submit, if his parents are still alive, be a good daughter to them, be kind, be loving. Any of his family, bless them by kindness. Show them as much love as you'd show your own, and pray for them, care about them. Just try to be a good person and put his needs and his family up there with your own instead of trying to put yours ahead. I think a lot of times families struggle with that. One spouse will have all the attention showered on their family and then the others won't. And maybe there's issues there that kind of cause that to happen. Sometimes that's the case, that maybe one family you're not close to and there's very good reasons for that. I'm not talking about those situations, but in general, if you guys are in contact with both sides of your family and there's no major issues, try to show him love, show his parents love too, and that will be a blessing for your husband. Obviously, showing his children, your own children, love, that blesses your husband. So take good care of the home. Don't let it fall in complete disarray. I have to do better. I'm sitting here thinking about the laundry pile in the basement. The laundry is the bane of my existence. I'm grateful for clothes to have to wash and wear, but I am terrible at keeping up with them. Part of my problem is our laundry is in the basement. It's down a flight of stairs, and of course our bedrooms are upstairs. So every load, it's up and down, up and down. And physically, that's difficult for me. But my kids do help me with that, but I'm bad about switching them and keeping up with that. But I need to do better there. I need to be a better homemaker there. And I'm sure we all have areas on our homemaking that we can improve. The laundry is just my glaring problem. I know, bad wife. Consider too his needs, and that's kind of goes with putting the one you love before yourself. Obviously, this goes both ways, but you're responsible for you and what you do. So put your husband's needs before your own. And if you do that one thing, treating him as you would wish to be treated, you will bless your husband in his name profoundly, and he will thank you for it. And I think God will honor that. So I hope these tips help you. I know there's probably a bazillion more that could be covered that I just have not thought of yet in my early morning fog and in the chilliness. Anyway, I hope you guys have a blessed and awesome day. Please comment below if you have other tips to add and share, because I would absolutely love to hear them. Goodbye.